Hello, everyone. This is Ray Savage with Cambium Networks. Thanks for joining us today on this ePMP webinar that we've got. The presentation is being recorded, so if you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask them using the question and answer dialog box on the right-hand side of your screen, and we will be posting the recording to the community sometime later this afternoon. We appreciate your business and your participation in our ePMP product. And today joining us, we have two very special guests. We have Joe Steffen, who is our Director of Hardware Design for ePMP. And we also have Sriram Chaturvedi, who is our Director of Software Development for ePMP as well. So we'll be covering really two topics. The first one is the brand new ePMP Force 190, which has just been released, I think, about a minute ago. And on the screen here, you can see the spec sheet for it. And Joe Steffen is here to tell us a little about it. Joe?
Hi, good morning, everyone, and good evening to folks in other parts of the world. So today we're introducing the Force 190, which is a new subscriber module that will fit in between sort of our Force 180 and Force 200 products from a sort of portfolio perspective. It's fully backward compatible with ePMP 1000 and ePMP 2000. So this is another product that our customers can use to fill in that sort of deployment where you need a little bit higher gain and yet you still want a smaller footprint than the Force 200. The key aspects of the Force 190 are, it's a little bit different type of dish in that we sectioned the dish up and made it a little bit smaller so that we could improve the packaging size. So on the Force 200, I believe they get ordered in 4-packs. On the Force 190, you'll be able to order more in a package. I believe it's 8. So with the smaller footprint and the smaller package size, we think it'll be a lot easier for our customers to logistically get the parts. From the physical hardware perspective, we made some modifications to the Force 200 in that we added a different type of ball joint or mounting bracket. So the mounting bracket comes in 2 separate pieces. One is the ball joint, which enables you to mount the bracket first and then put on the dish and then aim it. And the aiming ability should make all the installation a little bit easier. From the perspective of the bracket itself, we added extra holes in the bracket so you can pole mount it or wall mount it. So from that perspective, it should be for, I guess, end user deployments should be a little bit easier, hopefully, for everyone. We've taken a lot of feedback, and this is where we're at with this hardware at this point in time. From the radio-specific perspective, it's very similar to ePMP, the rest of the ePMP line on the subscriber end. It's got about 27 dBm transmit power combined, and it also has a 200 megabits throughput on the gigabit Ethernet perspective. Again, this covers the whole frequency range that the rest of the ePMP portfolio covers, from 4.9 to 5.7. I'm sorry, 5.9.7, and it's again a 2x2 MIMO product. I guess that's about all I have to say about it at this point. The last thing to note is the antenna gain. It sits in between, like I said, the Force 180 and the Force 200. So the antenna gain on average is about 22. So it's a nice complement to the rest of the product portfolio.
Joe, I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
First question is this compatible with the existing ePMP access points, whether it's 1000 or 2000?
Yeah, it's fully compatible. It's very similar product architecture as the Force 180 and Force 200, so it will be fully compatible with 1000 and 2000.
Okay, second question is, what is the PoE? Is it a standard PoE 8023AT, or is it a Cambium proprietary?
It is a Cambium proprietary power over Ethernet brick, and
29 volt.
It's a 30 volt power over Ethernet brick. You can use a lower voltage if you wanted to power it. I believe you can go down to about 12 volts or so to power it on, and up to about 31, 2, something like that. But we did redesign a little bit smaller brick, because radio consumes a little bit less power for the eco-conscious folks out there. So we did include a new brick with this package.
Any questions?
Yeah, we do have a couple of questions coming in online. The first one is the new Force 190 compatible with Force 200s or 180s? Can they coexist in a network?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no difference between deploying a 190 versus a 180 versus a 200 from the overall network perspective. From a RF characteristic perspective, I think that's
the RF interface is compatible.
Yeah,
compatible between the two. So you can mix a Force 200 on and a Force 190 on a point-to-point link, for example.
Yes, correct.
Okay, another question is, you know, it's all about range for a lot of people, and people are looking at, will this be supported in Link Planner?
Yeah, it will be supported in Link Planner.
In the August release.
In the August release, yeah. So thanks, Sri, for reminding me there's some work I have to do.
That's August of this year, right?
Yes. August of
Just want to make sure. We always get questions.
I should say the next Link Planner release will have it.
Okay, another question was the Ethernet interface. Why is the Ethernet interface only 10 by 100 megabits?
Well, I think the Ethernet interface was a trade-off because this is seen more as a subscriber than it is a point-to-point product. So we opted to go with the 10 by 100 for this product because of that fact that it's really aimed at the subscriber. Yes, you can use it as a lightweight PTP product if you want, but you know, the Ethernet interface might be limiting in that case.
What is the MSRP on this? Do you know?
I believe the MSRP on this is a 109, I think.
Wow. One other question we had was, right now we're showing the part numbers for the EU and the US and rest of world. One of the things on the spec sheet says that it's 4.9 gigahertz in rest of world. Can you explain that a little bit, please?
So we have a couple different hardware SKUs, and the rest of the world SKU will operate in the 4.9 band. The US version is locked to the US or FCC country code.
Okay. And right now I'm showing the antenna patterns. Is there anything that's worthy of note there?
Well, what you note on any type dish antenna here is that the main beam width is narrower than what you'll see on the Force 180. And the reason why that's important is because if you're trying to minimize the impact of interference, you want a tighter gain so that interference cannot basically get collected by your receiver in that main antenna pattern.
Okay, and this one just came in. How is the 190 different from the Force 200?
So the 190 is different from the Force 200 in that it's a smaller profile dish. So the Force 200 is a 450 millimeter dish or 18.5 inches. The Force 190 is a 13.5 inch or 350 millimeter dish. So the actual profile on the house is quite a bit smaller, and yet we're still packing a lot of gain inside of that little envelope.
Okay, so just this is about the size of a dinner plate?
It would be a large, more of a bigger dinner plate. Yeah, 13.5 inches. It's about the size of a floor tile, a little bit bigger than a floor tile. Usually those are about 12 by 12.
Okay. One other question that just came in. Let's see. What will be the list price and when is it available to distributors? It's available to distributors now.
Yeah,
I think
in the list price, I think is what we had said before. I think it's 109.
Yeah. Let's see.
And that's quite a bit cheaper than Force 200.
Right. So it sits in between, even price-wise, between Force 200, which I believe is 129, and Force 180, which I think is 99.
Okay. Here's someone who's looking at the image that we've got up on the spec sheet right now, and they're asking, how can you move it up, down, left, right? How can you do that link alignment?
So
just explain that.
So what's kind of tough to see from this image, which you'll be able to see later on, we're going to release an assembly video or an assembly animation, is what you see on the back end of the dish product. There's like a nut that you hand tighten. And inside of that, it's a socket and a ball. So you're able to move it up and down, I believe about 15 degrees, actually in all dimensions.
All directions.
Yeah, up and down in the elevation and azimuth directions. And it's kind of tough to see from this picture, but basically because it's a ball and a socket, you're able to do that.
Right, so what it is, it's just kind of got like a screw socket on there that tightens it. You
Yep.
just loosen that, then you can make
Then you
your
can move it
adjustment
and then retighten it,
back
yep.
up. And do you need any special tools to do that?
To do the tightening, no. When I did my wind loading test, I did it all by hand because I figured that's the way our end user was going to do it, and I wanted to make sure that it held up to the wind loading requirements and that we put forth. And I believe what we have on our spec sheet here is 125 kilometers an hour, and that is the lowest that this thing will withstand. You can definitely go higher if the wind's at different directions. But basically, to get back to your question, Ray, is I tightened it all by hand when I did all those tests, and it stayed steady during the entire test.
Great. One person here is asking, how does it perform in the field outdoors?
I think we've heard pretty good reports that it performs fairly well, so I don't think it's going to be any issue from that perspective.
Okay. And it is shipping right now. The distributors have it, so you can go ahead and put these up in your summer and fall installations. And as always, we appreciate any photos that you can post to the community or send in to our Facebook photo contest. We'll be including those. One last question about the Force 190. Sure. Can you comment a little bit about the throughput that's supported?
It's a 10-100 port. So the throughput is, after overhead on the Ethernet, you can achieve about 96 megabits per second on a good link.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. And thank you for your questions, everyone. Now what we'd like to do is just kind of shift topics a little bit. And Sri, can you tell us a little bit about what the new news is here in software?
Yeah, I wanted to hijack this webinar because I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about the new ePMP release that it's in progress right now. We have a beta release out. 3.5 is the release version. We have 3.5 RC7 posted for open beta for all customers. I wanted to quickly summarize what's in the release and what you can expect. There are three major enhancements or features in that release. The first one is PPPoE-IA, intermediate agent support, that's brought into ePMP. So this is where you can tag Ethernet clients with the access switch over PPPoE. It's more of a Cisco feature, and there's been a lot of demand from customers for this feature. So with 3.5 release, we support this feature now. The second enhancement is what we call as fast pass, but what it really is improvement to TCP throughput, especially in 40 megahertz channels. You'll see a bigger jump in throughput. The way we did this was to do less or no packet inspection when you don't have certain layer 2, layer 3 features enabled on the radio. So for example, if you have traffic prioritization enabled or firewalls enabled, the radio has to inspect the packet to properly firewall the packets or prioritize the packets. But if you don't have those features enabled, we are eliminating the excess processing that is done by inspecting the packets. Previously, we used to inspect all packets, whether the features were enabled or not. But with this release, if you don't have those features enabled, you can see a gain in throughput. How much is the gain? For 20 megahertz, you can see up to a 15% gain in throughput. For 40 megahertz, based on the conditions and the amount of data going through, you can see anywhere from 15% to 40% gain in throughput. Again, you're not going to get this improvement everywhere. And specifically, you don't have the layer 2 or layer 3 features enabled on the radio. I understand a lot of customers use those features, so you may not be able to see this gain. But there are customers who like to have a plain vanilla bridge, and then they'd like to see increased throughput. So, and the third feature is what we're still working on. It's still in development, which is, I think, is going to be very important for a lot of customers out there, is a floating license server. Especially for Elevate customers. Right now, the Elevate licenses are tied to a MAC address. We're working on a floating license server where these licenses can be moved from one access point to another. Again, this is still in development. We will be going through a beta phase for this feature, and we will inform you as soon as it's ready. So those are the three main features in release 3.5. Other than that, we do have quite a bit of bug fixes. A couple of bug fixes were critical bug fixes. I know it's caused some pain for our customers, and we addressed that in this release. The first one was unable to switch back from spectrum analyzer mode back to access point mode. Customers have had to switch to SM mode and then back to AP mode. So we apologize for this defect. It was something that we missed in our QA, and we've got it addressed in this release. The second important defect was, on occasion, we've heard reports from customers where the Ethernet port of the SM locks up, and we found the root cause was due to a malformed packet. We were not handling it properly. It's a malformed packet is a very rare occurrence in properly deployed networks. So the malformed packet was causing a call trace, which was essentially locking up the Ethernet. A reboot recovers the radio, but again, we've resolved that issue. We have addressed this critical issue in 3.5. There's a long list of other things, minor bug fixes that we have done. You can see the full list on our beta forum against the 3.5 RC7 post. Okay.
Great, thank you very much, Sri. One question that did come in while we were talking, it looks like folks are absolutely have a lot of questions about the Force 190. So the question is, can I have a detailed data sheet? And the answer is absolutely yes. They are online on the public website. It's posted already. You can just go to the ePMP 1000 product page, and there you'll find the spec sheet. It's right there ready to be downloaded. It's the same one we're showing right here. Also, there's a press release that went out today, so if you follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, as soon as I'm done here on the webinar, I'll post it on social media, so you should be able to get it. And also, we will post to a link on the community so that you can find it there. A little bit of a technical question here. How many maximum subscribers can be connected from an ePMP Force 190 AP?
So if you set the Force 190 as an access point.
Right. Yeah, the Force 190 is, we didn't really design it as an AP, but however, we do support the access point mode. It supports the same number of subscribers as the Force 200 supports, which is 120 subscribers. However, we don't recommend putting 120 subscribers on a Force 190.
Right.
First of all, it's a dish. The beamwidth is narrower. I can't imagine how you would end up putting 120 subscribers. Typical deployments that we've seen, we do have customers who deploy 120 subscribers on our GPS radios, ePMP 1000, ePMP 2000, but we haven't seen a large number of subscribers on our subscriber module radios, such as the Force 190, Force 200. You can put 40, 50 subscribers, but again, I can't imagine how you will put 40, 50 subscribers on a dish that's an access point.
Great, thank you, Sri. I think one question that came in here was, how is this different from a Cambium PMP 450i? I think probably the best way to think about it is that the 450i is related to a PMP access point. The ePMP Force 190 will report to a ePMP access point, whether that's a 1000 series or a 2000 series. So if your access point is ePMP, this is the product that's relevant for you to take a look at. One other question we had, Joe, I think this is one for you. It's about LED indications.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about what LED indicators are there on the Force 190?
So the Force 190 LED indicators are the exact same as the Force 200 and 180. So we've got Ethernet, we've got power, Ethernet. So power Ethernet, and then 3 for signals, so signal strength. And I can't recall off the top of my head exactly when the signal strength ones trip. I don't know if you recall, but basically we have 3 of them for alignment, and then we've got power and Ethernet.
Ethernet, yes.
Okay, and where are those LEDs located on the 190?
I know this is a little bit of a point of contention based on the Force 200 design, but they're on the tube of the radio, kind of in front of the dish. In this case, the dish is a little bit smaller, so hopefully someone who's aligning it on the side will be able to see a little bit better because of the fact that the dish isn't as deep as the Force 200.
Okay, so in the photograph, in the image that we're showing, it's kind of that little gray box that you see there on the stem of the center pole, right?
Yeah, correct.
Good. Okay. Okay, we did have one question about live spectrum scan on the.
So the live spectrum scan is something that's still on our roadmap. That is not in our software release yet. So this is something we're still looking at. We completely understand the frustration from our customers on needing to switch the mode to run a spectrum analysis. It is on our roadmap. I just can't give you a target release.
Great. Well, thank you very much. And okay, and yeah, there was just one clarification on exactly what you just answered as to when will that be available. We're working on it. When we have an availability date, we'll be able to share that on the community and with everybody. One other question just came in, and this is one that I'd be interested in knowing.
Before we move on, Ray, one thing I'd like to tell the audience here is the team is, as no secret, we're working very heavily on AC, our next generation product. So that's why you'll see a little bit of delay in some of these roadmap items. The team is heavily engaged. We're working towards getting you a next generation product that's backward compatible and will elevate your networks even further. That's what the team's focusing on right now.
Great, thank you. This question is about TCP wireless link tests. Can you tell us, first off, can you tell me what that is? And then
right. So the link test, I'm assuming that this is what the audience member is talking about. The link test on the radio is a wireless link test. It's more of a UDP link test. So I think the request here is to have a TCP-based link test, which will take into account a TCP overhead and then provide the throughput for that. That is something that we don't have plans to develop. At the end of the day, it's a wireless link test. We are trying to see what the wireless capability is of the link. It's the physical layer, layer 2, from a radio perspective. We don't have plans to provide a TCP link test at this point.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, we do have a couple of other questions. What I'll do is make sure that we put them on the community so that we get a chance for everybody to take a look at the answers. And I appreciate everybody's time this morning. And please make an opportunity today to go to the website, get the spec sheet, go to the community, and we'll open up a new thread on the Force 190, and you can post your questions there. Thank you very much, everybody. We look forward to seeing you on a future webinar. Have a good day.